So the first part of this unit, we were looking at triangles and just angles within them and things like that. Now we're going to have to actually decide whether something is a triangle and look at some of those side measures. So when we do this, we're using this thing called the triangle inequality theorem. And what the triangle inequality theorem says is that a triangle exists if the sum of the two smaller sides is larger than the third side of a triangle. So when we do this, we're going to be setting up some inequalities. And when we're determining if it is a triangle, our first step is to always figure out of the three sides that they give us, which are the two smaller sides. So for example, number 1, I'm given sides 8, 17, and 24. Well, 8 and 17 are my smaller sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add them together and see if they are larger, so if they are greater than that third side. 8 plus 17 is 25. In this case, 25 is greater than 24. So I can say that yes, these sides form a triangle. Same thing with number 2. I'm going to find the two smaller sides out of 3, 3, and 7. 3 and 3 are our smaller sides. It's okay if they're the same. And I'm going to add them together and see if they are greater than that other side. When I do that, 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 is not greater than 7, so I would say no, this does not form a triangle. And that's as easy as the triangle inequality theorem gets. We're just adding the sides to see if it would form a triangle. With number 3, out of 25, 35, and 12, 25 and 12 are our smaller sides. So we're going to add them together and see if they are greater than 35. When I add it, it is 37. 37 is greater than 5, so we would say yes, that forms a triangle. Number 4, out of 52, 37, and 42. 37 and 42 are those smaller sides. When I add them together, I get 79. 79 is greater than 52. So again, yes, it makes a triangle. For number 5, my smaller sides are 28 and 22. When I add 28 and 22 together, I get 50 exactly. But since they are the same number, one side is not larger than the other, so I cannot say that they form a triangle. Again, those two smaller sides must be larger than that third side. Number 6, when I add them together, it does form a triangle. For number 7, when you add the smaller sides, it does not form a triangle. And number 8 does form a triangle. So again, triangle inequality theorem, we're adding the two smaller sides, and if it's larger than that third side, we say yes, it forms a triangle. Using the triangle inequality theorem knowledge, we can also find the range of a third side of a triangle if they only give us two sides. When we do that, we're setting up an inequality using the sum and difference to show our range. So when I write it, I'm going to write it out like this. A is less than X, which is less than B. That means that X is going to be in between my numbers A and B, whatever those are. When we get A and B, the way we get it is we're getting the difference. So the difference is going to give us the number on the left and then the sum on the right. So for example, with number 9, my two sides are 14 and 22. When I set up my inequality, I'm going to do the difference first. So the difference between 22 and 14 is 8. So 8 is going to go on the left, and then I have X in the middle. And then on the right, I'm doing the sum. 14 plus 22 is 36. So the range of sides for this triangle is anywhere between 8 and 36. Number 10, same way, we're going to do the difference. and we're going to do the sum, and then we're going to write in our inequality. The difference between 31 and 28 is 3, and the sum of 31 and 28 is 59. So writing out that inequality, we would say that 3 is less than x, which is less than 59. Again, x is in between those two numbers. Number 11 is the same way. Our difference is 8, and our sum is 14. Number 12, our difference is 26, and our sum is 64. 13, the difference is 7, and the sum is 31. And then for 14, the difference is 9, and the sum is 25. So that's just writing out the inequality. For 15 and 16, they are again giving us two sides, and we're finding the range, but we're actually going to check which sides are a possibility using that range. So if we look at number 15 first, it says if a triangle has lengths of 15 feet and 27 feet, check all the possible lengths for the third side. First step is setting up that inequality. The difference between 27 and 15 is 12, and the sum is 42. So my inequality is 12 is less than x, which is less than 42. When I choose my sides, I have to be careful. X cannot be either of my n numbers. It has to be either bigger than 12 or smaller than 42. It cannot be 12. There's not an equal to line with this inequality. So when I choose my numbers, I would choose 34, 29, and 18. Again, 12 is the same exact thing, and I cannot choose that. And 43 is too large. Number 16, we're doing the range given the side lengths of 45 centimeters and 9 centimeters. So setting up that inequality, our difference is 36 and our sum is 54. When I do that, we are finding all of the possibilities within those numbers, but not either of those numbers. So we can choose 47 and 39. 35 is too small, 58 is too large, and 54 is the exact sum. And again, I cannot choose those. So that's finding the range. Again, we're just doing the difference and the sum. When we're finding our triangles inequality theorem, we are adding the smaller sides and comparing it to that third side to see if it forms a triangle for our triangle inequality theorem.